little shy wallflower.
Is she shy? Is she sleepy? Does she have a big breakfast?
It's probably a little bit of all of that, but by all accounts, she's a little shy in nature. So it'll probably come out when she gets her forever home that she'll kind of come out of her shell a little bit. But for right now, she's like, what is going on?
She really is. She's just kind of casually looking around, look over to the
Yeah.
left, look over to the right.
Yeah, definitely. She really likes food, you can tell, because she is a little chunky gal, which we love to see. So she...
I like to see the healthy animals.
Yeah, that's right. So
she is adorable. Our friend from last week, Duke. Now, how adorable was that?
I fell in love. Did you fall in love?
Yeah, it's hard not to.
I
Just
know.
cute as can be.
And such a ball of energy.
And so let's wrap up that story. Duke was adopted.
He was adopted. He has a happy family now, and I'm sure he's running around in circles in that new home.
I know I messaged you on Thursday to follow up on that, but when we recorded on Wednesday morning, how long was he on the market before Duke was gone?
I went to lunch, and when I got back, Duke was adopted.
Wow, so just a few hours.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we should mention that Kelly is up for adoption as well.
She is. Her and her littermates are at 7500 Northwestern today, and we have some really great pets today, and we still have the free cat adoptions going on, so it's a really great time to stop by 7500 Northwestern to meet Kelly and so many others.
Should we talk about the name? You usually come up with really exotic, adorable names. Kelly?
I have a suspicion that one of our staff members named her after a family member.
Not hating on the name Kelly.
It's probably somebody's sister or cousin or something. We get really creative sometimes, or desperate.
Yeah, my parents have a cat named Fred, so I don't
There
know
you go.
I don't know how creative
There you
that
go.
is either. So, all right. So we did mention the dog days this summer. It is certainly hot out there. Be sure to take care of the elderly, take care of the little kiddos, and the pets. All the people who can't really fend for themselves, right?
That's right. You know, and as humans, we have specific rules and guidelines that we try to follow to stay cool. I mean, we know how to stay cool, but the rules for pets are completely different. If you think about it, they can't sweat like us, and they're wearing a fur coat at all times. So we use different tips and considerations when trying to keep our pets cool this summer.
Well, let's just say you've taken the dog, or you wouldn't take a cat grocery shopping, but let's say maybe you've taken the dog with you. The car is a bad idea.
Yeah, you know, just as a general rule of thumb, and I feel like everybody talks about this, leaving a dog in a hot car is just not an option. And we see so many different stories in the news about, you know, sad stories about things being left in cars, and pets are no exception, you know, combined with the fact that they're wearing fur coats. So if it's even 78 degrees outside, the temperatures in the car can reach up to 160, which is not livable for a pet, you know, that can't sweat and is wearing a fur coat. So it's just a good general rule of thumb not to have a pet in a hot car at all.
IMSA had a press conference last week as we headed into summer. They brought out some sort of heat gun. They indicated the exact same thing, underscore what you're talking about. 70 degrees outside, it's still much, much hotter in that car,
goodness,
even
yes.
if you leave the car running.
Yes, and you know, there are so many resources available to us. So for example, PetSmart, the Banfield locations, some of them have these window clings that you can put in your car. It tells you how hot it is in your car at all times. Those kinds of things can really save a life, but then just as a general rule of thumb, maybe just not doing it at all might be a good start.
All right, very good. Now, dogs need exercise. However, it's very hot outside. What about walking the dog when it's 95 degrees and the humidity is in the 80% range?
Oh goodness. You know, I think that it's a general rule of thumb. Pets outdoors probably shouldn't be outdoors. If you are uncomfortable, then they're probably uncomfortable. A really great tool or trick to use when walking your dog outside is to put your hand on the pavement. If the pavement is too hot for your hand to be held there for 5 to 10 seconds, then it is too hot for your pet to be walking on the pavement as well. It'd be like us walking barefoot. Their paws are no exception. They just don't have shoes on. So a good rule of thumb is a pavement test.
But what about those outdoor-only dogs?
You know, outdoor-only dogs are pretty prevalent in Oklahoma, and there are laws around protecting dogs outdoors, including they must have some kind of shelter or shade and good access to water. But if it's above 90 degrees, my general rule of thumb and just my household rule is the pets don't go outside for prolonged periods of time at 90 degrees. So if at all possible, let's take them inside, because who wants to be sitting outside in 90 degree weather or more?
Nobody wants to, especially
Absolutely
it doesn't
not.
matter whether you're in the full-on sun or in the shade. It's still
Exactly.
pretty uncomfortable. That said, how important is it, and perhaps some tips on keeping the little dogs hydrated?
Yeah, so I have an automatic water feeder in my house that kind of just keeps it going. But there are some really great DIY tricks on Pinterest. I saw something the other day where it was a giant bowl of frozen chicken broth, and they froze little toys in there.
You were telling us about this last week.
Yeah.
Now what's the theory here?
The theory is that it's going to keep your pet busy. So if you have a busybody who loves to get into things, this is a really great little DIY thing.
So Kelly could see this frozen bowl.
Kelly might not be interested in the frozen bowl, but other dogs might be interested in getting their toys out, but they're also licking the ice that is frozen chicken broth and keeping cool, and also interested.
It's an interesting tip.
Yeah.
Kelly's like, yeah, I want to try this.
Yeah, she's like, hey.
What other sort of DIY tips have you seen perhaps on Pinterest? Or perhaps that's a good idea. That's a resource that people can, hey, I'm not really sure what to do here.
Yes.
There are social media.
There are so many resources out there for us, especially in the age of social media. And Pinterest is, just the DIY capital of social media. So they have great tips on keeping cool, and also great information, great infographics and things to help you make the right decisions for your pets.
You were also talking about some sort of cooling bed. What is that?
Oh, I have these at my house, and I love them. So they make camping equipment and stuff like that. I have a Coleman brand cooling pad, and I put it in the beds of my pets, because when they go outside, they're running around the backyard, and when they come inside, it takes them a while to cool off. And so this actually helps speed up the process a little bit. I put them in their beds, and they love them. It's just like a little vinyl washable pad that's got something in it that makes it cool, which is great, and my pets love them.
All right, very good. We're talking with Abby Wolf from the Central Oklahoma Humane Society on the Rescue Rundown, alongside our friend Kelly here. We'll get you out on this. What are some of the signs we need to look for if the dog's getting too hot?
It's kind of tricky to see if a dog is suffering from heat exhaustion or a heat stroke, because a lot of the signs just look like a hot dog, but there are some signs that you can look for besides the excessive panting and drooling and the common signs that you see of a pet being too hot. They include things like a purple or bright red tongue. If a dog is starting to act a little weird or dizzy or kind of out of it, like a glazed over look in their eye, that means that they're also suffering from heat exhaustion or stroke. And a rapid heartbeat or strange breathing, those kinds of signs can really help you save your pet's life. And if you do see those signs, it's really important to take action immediately by getting a damp cloth or getting some ice cubes and starting to acclimate your dog's body temperature back to where it needs to be.
Panting, glazed eyes, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, some strange breathing, the dark red or purple tongue. Good stuff. All right, one last thing. What dogs perhaps are more susceptible to the hotter conditions?
We always worry about our senior pets. We always worry about our young puppies, of course. Overweight pets are at risk. Pets with really fluffy fur, or maybe the double-coated fur. But then the breeds of dogs that you have to watch out for the most are the short-muzzled animals. So the Shih Tzus, the Pugs, the Bulldogs, these dogs cannot get oxygen the same way to cool themselves off as other pets, and are more susceptible to heat stroke.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
Good stuff as always. Every Wednesday morning, Abby comes in, just drops the knowledge all over the place. And we appreciate that.
Thank you.
As we get into the first days of summer, leading into the dog days of summer, go see Kelly, 7500 Northwestern at the Central Oklahoma Humane Society. You can also go online at okhumane.org to see more dogs and cats that are available for adoption. Abby, any events coming up that we need to know about?
We are still going with our Fee Waived Cat adoptions program, and we are so excited. We actually hit the 50 adoptions mark, and we're hoping for 50 more. So if you're looking for a feline friend, it's a great time of year because they're all indoor cats. And it's a great time to go and stop by, see what you can find for your family.
Very good. Abby, thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
That'll do it for episode 41 of the Rescue Rundown.